Hello and welcome to another episode of Hooks, Knits, and Dice. I'm Leila Croca. This is Tommy, my handsome hubby. He's here to help me review Smash Up, which is a fun game that I promised you guys I would review. I'm setting down my, tablet. I just woke up. I thought it was 11 a.m. when I woke up. I was shocked to see it was 17. And I'm like, is my clock wrong? So I rolled over and I looked at Tommy's clock. It also said 17, so I picked up my phone and it said 5 p.m. Yay! I totally thought it was 11 a.m. My body must have really needed that sleep. I was down for the count yesterday, hurt everywhere. It felt like I'd been hit by a train. And that happened earlier this weekend as well. It's just so much. I mean, we jam-packed this past week for Halloween, so my body's catching up, and apparently I needed that sleep because I'm not hurting as bad today. My hands are a little numb, but nowhere near as bad as yesterday. So thank you, Jesus. Oof. Speaking of bodily issues, the kidney stones I've been plagued with are caused by an excess of uric acid. So I have to avoid meat now, which is not fun because the dietitian I had in the U.S. said, for the sake of your diabetes, you should just eat lots of meat, and you can have as many vegetables as you want, but of course avoid the simple sugars. But they said meat is the order of the day, so now it's not, and I have to go to the doctor and say, yo, what do I do? That'll be fun. I mean, I love vegetables, don't get me wrong, but if one person's telling me, oh, you should mostly eat meat, and then now they're saying mostly avoid meat, well, what am I supposed to eat? So vegetables, I guess, but no problem. I like meat, but I can totally live on a lower dose, so to speak, of meat. That'll be alright. So we'll just have to figure it out. I'll have to talk to my doctor and figure out a plan to figure out what meat is better to avoid. I mean, I'm sure that fish is fine, because it's not the same kind of meat, obviously, and it has the omega-3s, which I need. Chicken is probably fine. It's probably the red meat, honestly, that I have to avoid, which I don't get much of anyway, but I don't know. We'll have to talk to the doctor, figure that one out. Anyway, I'm almost done with my cauldron purse that I told you guys about. You can see here, I've pinned the flames. I'm going to sew them down. And then this blue stuff here is the potion spilling over the side of the cauldron. I'm going to give you a little closer look at it because I have sewn inclusions onto it. So it looks like little elements that were in the potion are bubbling out over the side with them. It's super sparkly and pretty. All sorts of beads and doodads and gewgaws and all that jazz. The cowrie shells I bought at the last powwow I attended, actually. So that's very special to me because the Red River Powwow Association no longer holds powwows. So I'm really sad about that. I miss that immensely. But I get to have the little reminder of them on my cauldron bag. So I'm going to show you, actually. The handle is, I don't know the technical term, but they're those ropes that you put around curtains to hold them open. It turned out to be a perfect handle. So I sewed that onto the bag. And then you can see the flame by itself. This is all hand quilting that I've done on the fabric. This is a satin ribbon that I've put on there. And then on the sides, which is harder to see if I can hold it up there a little bit, is a thin black ribbon, satin ribbon, that just matches the fabric so nicely. And that way it's not a flat seam. There's a little bit of width. It's maybe half an inch, I want to say, of the satin ribbon. And then on the inside, which you will have difficulty seeing, maybe, see that green fabric in there? That is actually a pocket that I sewed in with a zipper. So it's a zippered pocket to keep all the little things from jumbling about with the, sorry, messing with my mic here, to keep it from jumbling about with the rest of the contents of the purse. This has been a learning experience. I do plan to make these to sell. So I've learned that I really ought to do all of the quilting and the pocket first before sewing the whole purse together. I wanted to hopefully be done in time for Halloween. That didn't happen, but from now on I will do all of the quilt work first, and then I also want to add a liner, which I'm going to be adding after the fact, which I can do. It's not impossible, but it would save myself a lot of trouble and hassle if I did all of that and then sewed the purse together. So, lesson learned, but it's still going to turn out very nicely, as you can see. And I will have that lining in there so that the pocket opens, but it's between the lining and the outside of the purse so that it doesn't get tangled up and there are no threads that can get tangled with any of the contents of the purse. So then I will be offering that for sale. They won't be exactly the same, of course, because the contents of the potion will be different depending on what kind of beads and sequins and sort of things that I have for that. But the flames and the wood under the flames, which was a little difficult to see because, of course, the bottom of the cauldron, whoops, over here, see the little brown and white pieces of wood there. Those will be the same. Of course, the shapes of the flames will be different. Each purse will have different shape of the fire under the cauldron. But the basic cauldron shape and the ruched organza will be pretty much the same. I still have a whole bunch of this blue sparkly organza left, but I'm also getting sent to me the black, and I have a couple different kinds of organza that I'm having sent to me by Trina, so I can use those in a pinch if I run out of the blue organza. And I do have a plain silver colored organza that I can dress up with beads and glitter and that sort of thing. So if you guys want to order a cauldron purse, hit me up in the comments below or on any of my social media and we will get you hooked up. And as ever, any orders over $50, free shipping, no matter where you live, as long as it's okay with your country. So that's good. So yeah, the part of having Tommy here, he's going to help me review Smash Up. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. It's...
Let me hand you the mic.
It's a relatively simple game. You
can
put
hook it to your shirt.
Yep. You put out a number of bases. Bases.
Sound like you said basis.
Equal to the number of players plus one. So if you're two people, it's 3, and so on and so forth. And there's a number in the top corner here.
Oh yeah, it's like 18 on this card. Turn it a little so it's not shiny. There you go.
It's 18 on this card. And then, so when the amount of minions, because each deck you have minions, one would be a 5, you see.
And that minion is
a robot.
A robot.
So when the amount of power of all of the minions on the base is equal to the number, then it's scored, and then the one with the most gets the first, and then second and third, and fourth player gets nothing.
Right.
And there's also usually a little special condition on each base that happens when you score. Or
so what does this one say?
Well, this one doesn't happen after you score. This says after you play a minion here, if another player has moved has more power here than you do, you may put a plus 1 power counter on that minion. So
yeah,
if you're behind, every minion you play gets a little bit more powerful when you play it here.
Right.
Here,
I'll take that.
And it's all about getting the first person to get 15 points wins. And you use these faction cards. So from the back it looks like this. But each faction has 20 cards. And you pick 2 different factions to play. So right now they've got the robots here and vampires. So this would be a robot vampire deck. Or you could do pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates and sharks.
A pirate shark deck.
Pirate and shark deck.
I was in the right spot.
Yep.
I was trying to follow you.
Yep.
You can't really see them anyway, but
no.
Yeah, how many factions are there so far? How many come in the original pack? Let's ask that. Doesn't it say on the box?
Probably does. I have the box open. So,
It's under your thumb.
8 factions in the original, and 16 bases. So each faction gets 2 bases, and whenever you get expansions, it's usually like 4 factions for each expansion, and each faction also gets their bases when you buy the expansion as well. So you get more bases for buying expansions. We currently have 2. We have the It's Your Fault expansion, which had the sharks, the Greek heroes, and dragons,
Yeah.
and
Is
what's
that
the last one?
superhero?
Yes,
Is that what that
superheroes.
is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
superheroes. And then we also have the Monster Smash expansion, which
The
has
Monster Smash. Sorry, I had to.
vampires, zombies, werewolves, and big bugs.
Yeah. Isn't it giant ants?
Yeah, it's giant ants. So, and there's like, I don't know, there's I think at least 10 different expansions you can get.
And the tray that
Yeah, the
Ouch.
full set comes in a
nice plastic tray.
Yep.
And these are taken up somewhat by the expansions, so there's room for your expansions in the trays.
Yeah, this is the box with 2 expansions, which fills up the original box. There is basically a bigger, geekier box, as they call it, which is bigger and has more room, but also comes with 1 or 2 extra factions as well. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you really get your bang for your buck.
Yeah, and the base game, I think is like $30-$40 for the base game,
Yeah.
and then each expansion is like 15-20.
So this is something to go in on with your friends. If you have a group of friends that want to play, somebody, or you can chip in to get the base game, and then you can all chip in on factions.
Yep.
And then you just have this massive smash-up game that you can play.
Mm-hmm.
And will you get the point things so we
Yep.
can show them what they look like?
Also, you can use more than 1 box. One person can't play the same faction twice, but that would allow someone to pick the same faction as someone else.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to play wizards and pirates, then someone else could play pirates and zombies.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of customizability.
Yep.
Is that a word?
Yeah, yeah. And each faction has their unique mechanic or their strategy. So there's a lot of different ways to win. Like the ninjas are good at placing minions on the base just as it's about to score.
Yeah.
You
so
can
get those extra points.
put an extra minion or 2 possibly on the thing, and the other person's like, "Ha, I'm gonna win that one." And you're like, "Nope, I win it."
Sneaky devils.
And the aliens have a thing where when they play one of their minions, they get a victory point automatically just for playing the minion.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of other minions and actions that allow them to put minions back to their hands. So they keep just putting that one back to their hands and playing it out again.
And
so they get
all those
all the victory
points.
points. Even though they never really score a base, they just keep accumulating victory points.
Yeah, so they can snag the win just
Yeah,
playing out minions.
Just by playing out minions. Oh, one thing I didn't cover is you get 5 cards, I think. Is
Yeah,
the start.
5 to
And then
hand.
you draw 2 each turn.
No, don't we have 10?
No.
What am I thinking? You need to look at the rules real quick.
Yeah. But anyways, you draw a certain amount. We'll figure that out in a moment. But you can only do on your turn. You can play 1 minion. One
Over here.
Yeah.
1 minion.
1 minion with the number in the top, and 1 action, which doesn't have the number, but they also say minion and action on them, unless of course the cards say you can do more.
Right.
The wizards are fond of playing lots of actions, so they have actions and minions that say they can play extra actions.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's similar to Magic, because it's minions and
He
spells.
means Magic the Gathering.
Magic
for
the
those of you
Gathering.
that don't know.
Yeah. You play in Magic the Gathering. You play creatures and spells and enchantments and artifacts and stuff like that too. There are actually something like the artifacts in here, too, enchantments in here too. You can play effects on minions, actions on minions that stay on them. You can also play actions on bases that also stay on the base until it's scored or if something happens.
Yeah.
So there are some things that are longer term than just one and done. As for how many cards you draw to start with, I thought it was 5, but I could be wrong.
Let's see. Oh, and tell them about the wording on the rolls. Like,
Yeah, each player draw 5.
okay, it is 5 cards.
Yeah.
But like kicking at Queensbury.
Yeah, they
They've got some ridiculous titles to their sections.
Yeah, and like one of the rules is to decide who plays first is whoever got up earliest this morning gets to
Stuff
start.
like that. It's kind of like Munchkin in that aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. We totally recommend it. We'll put a link below. Of course, nothing that we review we're not sponsored by anybody, so these are just things that we feel like we should share with you guys so you can get out there and enjoy them. So we're going to put a link below so you guys can find a store that will you can pick these up.
Yeah.
So anything else about the game? Can you think of anything else?
It takes about half an hour-ish to play, 15 minutes, half an hour, depending
how
on
many people playing.
how many people are playing and how effective you are at scoring the bases. Because some of the factions are very good at destroying minions, so if 2 people play those sort of factions, it can take a little longer.
Yeah.
But it's easy and quick to learn.
Yeah, I would say it's an all ages kind of game too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be able
There's
to
nothing
read,
scary or anything on
No,
it here.
but
It's very
you have
silly.
to be able to read. So
It's not for 0 to 3 because small parts and
Obviously.
all of that.
Yeah.
It's
So
probably on
I
the
would
outside
say
of
if you're able to read, maybe 6, 7 in there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing like an age range.
No.
Age range here, but yeah, not for small children, but
Just
as long
because
as they
of the choking hazard. But
yeah, as long as they
there's
can
no
read.
inappropriate content. So if you can read, you can play.
And they have a expansion with like princesses and other cute things and stuff like that
so
too.
it's not all superheroes and bad
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
It's got some cutesy stuff too.
Yeah, and no, that was the dragons. One of the base factions in the game is dinosaurs with guns.
Right? you can't beat that. Dinos.
Yeah,
Killer dinos.
Yeah.
He's trying to find
wizards
the
and
faction, but yeah. So it's fun for the whole family. We totally recommend it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun and easy to pick up and play and super simple to learn.
Yeah.
And
So you don't spend a lot of time figuring out rules.
Yep.
It's Tommy described it once as magic light.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, here, King T-Rex.
You're in the wrong section. There we are. There he is. Who doesn't want to play a King T-Rex?
And tooth and claw and guns.
And guns, of course. Now some people, of course, are like, "Oh no, guns!" So yeah, there is that aspect, but it's not like, it's not like it's the main focus.
It's just like super over the top and silly.
It's not humans wielding the guns; it's dinos wielding the guns. So it's not. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the sharks, one of the factions, there's also tornadoes. Was one of the factions that came with the sharks.
Sharks, Sharknado. Need I say more?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so absolutely check this game out. We're gonna make this just a short episode so we can get right into it.
Do you want to play with us?
Oh yeah, before we should cut this off because I forgot. I mentioned last week, I believe, that I'm getting into Warhammer 4000 with Tommy, and so we picked up
40,000.
40,000. Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm trying to
get the mic off. Yeah, there you go. He's not used to playing with the lapel mic. There we go. So, anyway, Warhammer 40,000. So we picked up an airbrush setup.
Yep.
Biltema, which is a local.
It's a Swedish company, I think.
Right, but I'm saying as far as what kind of store is it?
It's originally a car tools, car accessories.
Because Biltema is car themed.
Yeah. So they had car tools like wrenches and they don't sell parts
No.
Except for like windshield wipers and some of
Yeah,
the like
the
basic
minor
part.
parts. Yeah. But then they expanded to like house stuff,
Yeah,
working on building, construction, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
It's almost like a hardware store, but
kind
not.
of like it's almost like Home Depot,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
except for they don't sell the house fixtures and stuff.
No.
It's hard to describe. Anyway, that's where we got most of our supplies for the airbrushing, the compressor, the respirators, the everything that goes with airbrushing.
And the actual airbrush.
And the actual airbrush, yes. And he picked up some washes. Let's see if the camera will focus. There we go.
It's an army painter purple tone.
Yep. And then he's got Citadel's Agrax Earth Shade, I think is how you would pronounce it. I am turning the bottle in the wrong direction. Trying to get the shine off. There we go. And then we also have the Gnome Oil.
Gnome oil,
Yeah.
These are meant to be applied after you're done, like the undercoat, or like after you've done the main color of the figure. You put this on, and it goes in all of the nooks and crannies, and gives you basically some free shading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Very useful.
So he's been testing because he hasn't airbrushed before, but when we get to doing this together, we may have an episode where we show you guys what we're doing, or we could do it during the after show. We can talk about what we're going to do, and then we'll do it in the after show. But we will be painting minis. He has some Dungeons and Doggies minis that I will be helping him paint, and then of course we'll both be painting our Warhammer 40,000 minis for that game. So we learned, what's the technique called?
Zenithal highlighting.
Yeah, zenithal highlighting, which we learned from YouTube. Hello, YouTube, we love you. So we will show you guys that, and then we, of course, will be painting the minis, both airbrush and some hand detailing for the finer detailing.
Yep.
And then, of course, we'll do the washes, and we will show you guys how that looks. So I look forward to working with him. He's set up his own art room. You guys know I have the crow's nest down in the basement, but he set up his own art room for painting minis. So we'll be doing the undercoats and the airbrushing part in his craft room, and then we'll come to the crow's nest and do the fine detailing. So that'll be a lot of fun. But like I said, we're going to cut this episode short so we can get right to the HCAT after show. My brain's not working. Like I said, I just woke up 45 minutes ago. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.